Hey everyone, it's Sophie. I make videos about houseplants and books, and today we are on the plant bandwagon once again. And you may notice I've got my headphones on today, and it's because we're trialing my new microphone, and I wanted to make sure that this video had good audio and that I wasn't messing it up. So next time, hopefully, won't need my headphones. If you're not new to my channel, you may know that I recently had abdominal surgery, and it meant that a lot of my plants went quite a while being a bit neglected. But despite that, my plants have really bounced back for me and been growing so well. So I'm coming at you today with some growth updates. We've got some plants doing some really fun stuff, and I'm also coming at you with a couple of negative updates because I'm a real person and some things did suffer as a result. So we're going to kick things off with my favourite plant, my favourite child. No, not you, though you are beautiful. I do apologise if I gave you any false hope. She's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. This is Miss Philodendron Campilinette. She has these gorgeous leaves with this parallel venation. So not only did she not get any crispy leaves or anything in the whole time that I neglected my plants, she also grew this mega leaf for me. Like, look at that, it's so beautiful, and it was just the thing I wanted to see when I was having such a hard time. It's beautiful. I will forever love this plant. So she's very forgiving, and we love that. And then this is something that for most other people, you'd probably find it pointless. But for me, I found it quite exciting. I just like looking at stuff like this. So she's flowering. This particular one, it's red on the inside, and it opens and closes at different points in the day, which is quite interesting as well. Please do get one. They are so easy. It will be your new planty best friend. I do recommend. By the way, I'm having a very bad hair day. We will just allow it. Next up, we have another really exciting one, and it's my Maranta. It's actually two species of Maranta in here. So we've got Maranta leucanera fascinator, and we've got Maranta Silver Band, which was from one of my swaps with Jules. Jules is Plants Bab on here if you want to go give them a subscribe. And also shout out to Alina, my other plant friend on here. She is a little plant lover. So on all of these plants, I haven't taken off any of the leaves that struggled yet because I wanted you guys to see the journey of the plants. So this one has lost 3 leaves during the struggle times. It's in semi-hydro. It's like one of my only plants in semi-hydro. But, and it's a big and glorious but, it has grown so much. Like, especially all this bit with the trailing. We've got a new leaf coming through here. And even the silver one, like, that is just taking off. This started off like a 1 or 2 leaf propagation. I just really, really love it. I think it's gorgeous, and I love this pot with it too. And I think that if you are struggling with your Maranta, definitely try it in semi-hydro. I mean, at the moment, this definitely needs repotting. Almost everything I've got needs repotting because it's not been done for ages. You can see right here on my Monstera elbow, we've got a whole bunch of roots at the bottom. It really badly needs doing, but one of my friends is going to come help me do it soon. So it's similar to Calathea. A lot of people think that they're related because they're both often referred to as prayer plants, but this one's so much easier, guys. So much easier. So if you love Calathea but you cannot keep them alive, try this guy, because I mean, I just abandoned it. It was dried out in the reservoir. How does it look this good? I don't know. I'm grateful though, thank you very much. I almost put this pen on top of one of my jumpers, and I'm not doing it because it leaked in my jacket pocket. And every time I go out, I put that jacket on, I forget about it, stick my hand in, it gets all stained with ink. So right now I've got inky knuckles. Yesterday, this guy at the hospital saw me with the inky knuckles, this random guy that was also there just as a patient, and he looked at me like this because he must have thought I was dirty. But it's a pen. For this one, I'm taking off the hook thing. That's the technical term. Ugh. Because I don't want to detract from the glory of this plant. If you guys remember when I had a tiny Hoya Housekeliana variegata, it started out as a 2-leaf, and now look at her, she's so beautiful. I mean, I am so happy for me. I love this for me because I remember saying over and over again, I can't wait till this trails, I can't wait till this trails, and then wow. I just find that a lot of species of Hoya can deal really well with drying out more, so therefore they've just not really suffered like some of my tropical plants have over this time. I just had all these new leaves. They never stopped growing. This year in particular, I think because we had to have the heating on more and we didn't just freeze all the time, they just didn't really know that it was winter, so nothing really went dormant this year. Things that usually go dormant just kept growing. It gets loads of pinkiness as well. The emergent leaves come out pink. Hoya, we did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Yeah. Yes, I have a Filofax now. My housemate bought me a Filofax and I'm converted to the Filofax family. It is peak organisation. This next update is a little bit ironic and you may be wondering, Sophie, why is it a little bit ironic? And it's because it was supposed to be a good update, but now it's kind of a bad update. We were getting this new leaf and I was thinking, yes, finally, my favourite anthurium is growing really well for me again. But it has had its problems over the time that I have had it. And this is the latest problem. Why? Normally when there's a yellow halo around a brown spot, I would instantly be like, bacterial infection. But I really don't think it is because of the environmental factors of this room. I think that it's to do with low humidity because we've had the heating on a lot. The radiator's been on at one point when this was emerging, like, a lot because it was freezing. We had this really cold spell, and I've noticed some other philodendron in different parts of the room that have also had the misshapen leaves struggling to unfurl. And then the other thing with this plant is you may see a kind of patchiness on these leaves. Unfortunately, I've got that patchiness on, I think, 4 of these leaves, which is not good, but where there is stem, there is hope to regrow. And what this patchiness is actually the long-term effects of edema, and edema can be caused by so many things, but essentially it's the cells bursting from too much water being taken up by the plant. And I've noticed with anthurium, what tends to happen is you'll get like wet patches on the bottom of your leaf, and these patches may disappear and then come back the next time you water, and that can happen for many months, but the leaves seem otherwise unaffected. After a while, those areas will start to yellow, they'll start to brown. So the good news is that if an anthurium has edema, it seems to be able to deal with it for a lot longer than some other genera of plants. But the bad news is that once a leaf has had edema, it can't heal itself, and eventually those areas are going to brown and the leaves will be lost. And I think we're a long way off that happening so far, but I know it's coming eventually. And I'll keep you guys updated and let you know how it goes, because I am not giving up on this plant. I love her. My housemate just cut the tip of her thumb off and scared the absolute out of me. I heard her like making like a pained noise, and I opened my door and she was just outside my door like, I have cut the tip of my thumb off. It will be okay though. We did some first aid, but honestly I had to say something because if the vibe's different now, it's because I'm like adrenaline. This is my anthurium gracile, and I've got some seedlings that I've been growing from this, and they finally have all got second leaves on the way, which is great. I'm doing those, but I'm also a bit excited because I got 2 more inflorescences that threw out that are now in fructescences. They're making their way to little berries. So we're going to end up with a lot of seedlings, which is fun, and I'm planning on selling them hopefully. And then my main plant of it is still doing well. I expected some leaf drop, some leaf yellowing, because I was letting it put so much energy into making berries. I've been making sure I'm on it, fertilizing this one again. Oh my goodness, it's doing another one. This is what they look like at the very start. And we've also finally got a new little caterpillar here, so I've got a new actual leaf coming. And then we've had this new leaf, which again you can see is slightly misshapen, which I feel like is backing up my theory of that the humidity was just super low in here. It's kind of like midway between a strap leaf anthurium, which are the long ones, like the pendants and the majestic, and they hang down. And it's not quite an upright guy either. It's like somewhere in between, a little bit like me. My anthurium moodianum, which is this really beautiful chocolatey coloured one with more subtle veins. This one stayed nice, even though it dried out. But we've still just got this caterpillar, and it's not done anything yet. It's just waiting, I think, for the right moment to make a comeback. In spring, will you grow for me, please? Because I would like some more leaves like this with a bit of vavavoom. Ooh, so beautiful. We love that one. Done that one. Although it's looking a bit boring now, at the time my Chroneana blackleaf actually gave me some beautiful little flowers, and I love the flowers on this one because before they open it looks like this invincible stars from Mario. We liked that. I like it when things flower. I was actually really gutted because I propagated my Hoya Bella without looking closely at the ends, and I cut off the one with the peduncle on it. It hurt me physically. I think I got dirt in my coffee. We don't like that. This was one of my swap plants, with Alina, and it's Monstera siltepecana, and I was really happy about this because I always really like this plant. It gets kind of silvery variegation. It's just a more unusual looking Monstera, and mine perished many moons ago. So when Alina sent me this, I was like, oh, really want one of these. And it is such a thirsty... I really need to pot it in something bigger than this because that would just make my life ultimately easier. It's already been growing new leaves. Obviously, it's very small. It's a baby leaf because I have not been fertilizing. But now that I'm on it, let's see if we can get some big old leaves going on this one. We've got 2 Hoyas. They also live in the same place on my little IKEA pegboard. This one, I know it's kind of leggy, but we're just grateful that we've got a leaf whatsoever on this. And this is Hoya carnosa crinkle 8. And then this one is Hoya DS70. It's also known as Hoya Betonii variegated. And it is really taking off now. And I've propagated this a few times as well. It's got quite a few different vines going. And I just love the texture of this one because it's very, very subtly furry. I don't know if you can hear this. It's just like velvety. It's nice. It's like stroking flock velvet. We're just going for it today. I'm just excited. We've just got things to show. This one is Ficus elastica, Shiberiana, Moonlight. And I could not, for the longest time, figure it out. Jules and Alina were like, you are overwatering it. And I listened to them. I let them dry out all the way to the bottom. And ever since, we've been growing back. I like this kind of bushy tree vibe that it's giving off now. But it's consistently giving me new leaves now, and they're so beautiful. I love things with variegation like this that are kind of like mottly, minty. I want to give you guys an update on a plant I have not shown on this channel for a very long time, and it is my Plectranthus australis, or the Swedish grape ivy, is that what it's called? And some of the leaves have got so big. Honestly, I feel like this plant would be so invasive in different environments. Like, it just grows no matter what, and it is in straight at water. Some of the roots are an absolute mess. What is going on here? It definitely needs sorting out. But even when I was doing nothing for it, it just did this. The light has been facing it this way, and this side looks so much prettier than this big tangle. You need some work, but thank you for growing so vigorously for me. I appreciate it. This one's actually variegated, so some of the little bits are a bit variegated. And something weird I found out about this plant the other day is that dogs hate the smell of it. I did often wonder why whenever Milo, that's my little Jack Russell, he's really cute, whenever he's in my room and I propagated this plant in the past, he runs out. And I thought it was something else. Like, sometimes he's a bit scared of like bigger leaves if they maybe like thinks, oh, they're alive. But then I saw an actual scientific explanation of this smell being a repellent to canines. I just thought it was really interesting. This next update is a real spirit raiser for me. So this one was a rescue plant. I got it from someone called Caitlin. She gave it to me for free. She told me that she'd mostly been struggling with underwatering it, and a lot of the roots had some damage. I tried to treat the rot at first. I thought that it worked, and then we did have leaves just declining. So in the end, I thought it was best to start it all over. I had a whole bunch of stem, and from all this stem, I managed to grow many little plants. I've got 3 in here, and these 3 plants have really taken off, and we've got this absolutely stunning begonia. It is now my favourite begonia in my collection. It's Begonia Griffin, and it's just got this unusual leaf shape. I love really weird leaf shapes, and again, it doesn't really show up as much on camera, but it's really silvery in these lighter areas, and I love with this dark bits that they get as well. I just feel like it's an incredible texture, the serrated edge, multiple new little pinky leaves coming through. I wanted to share it with you guys because it is stunning. I mean, look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. And then we come to the Begonia Tamaya. This is also one that I propped to make my life easier because it was just universally thirsty. And we've got what I have dubbed as the good cup and the bad cup. So in the good cup, we've got lots of roots going. We've got new leaves. These are all ready to be planted up. Happy times. The bad cup is a cup full of rot. A cup where all of the leaves have dropped off and we've just got rotting stem floating in a brownish fluid, and it's not very nice to look at. There's like 1 or 2 in there I might be able to salvage, but But yeah, ultimately it's not looking good for cup 2. Next we have a philodendron in a silly little pot that I painted for my birthday, and I love it because I painted it like Milo. This is my philodendron white wizard. It's a philodendron with albo variegation. Again, my best friend got this for me, but she got it like ages ago and it was very, very small. And I can't believe how it's boomed up. This one's definitely ready for a poll now. This is my fishtail cactus. Is that what it is? I always mix them up. I love this one. It is like, you look at it and you'd presume that it wasn't real because it looks so glossy, so perfect in that shape, and it doesn't look like something that can be naturally formed before. And I don't think I'd given you guys an update on this because I'd stopped filming videos like right before my surgery. It had put out this new branch here. It is so beautiful and big and full. I think it's the widest one that I'd had yet, and it made me really excited. And I thought that all the new growth was going to go like this, because this part that has been on the side of the room where I hadn't got the other grow lights on, it's just not filled out the shape properly because it didn't have enough light. But on the side where it did, we still got this nice branch too. It's doing really well, and I'm glad because when I first got this plant, it didn't do anything for like a year, and I thought, does this even grow? Like, what is going on? And now it's getting really big and full, and honestly, I love this one so much. It's such a statement plant. I can't believe this stretches this far. It's like, could be a skipping rope. We have my big Monstera Deliciosa, and it's got a new leaf here. I'll show you a close-up because I know I'm far too far away right now and I cannot pick up this plant. It's the biggest pot. I'm glad it's got a new leaf because that Monstera had been going through weird times. It was in a weird shape. It was like trying to point every which way because I wasn't doing grow lights. And finally we've got some new growth, so that's cool. You guys are not going to believe the size of this Aeonium. The context is that when you go from Europe to the UK, you're allowed to bring back a certain number of plants. My friend brought me back from Spain some little bits of Aeonium that had fallen off this huge big one, like outside this hotel. And when I got this plant, which I'm going to show you in its full glory in a minute, it was like a tiny little tight bit of leaves and a diddy bit of stem. And with a lot of love, with a lot of sun and grow lights, and with a lot of fertilizer, we have gotten it to this beautiful big Aeonium. If you don't know about Aeonium, there is literally every colour combination, every different type of leaf shape that you could imagine. It probably exists in this plant. And after I got given this and I had the experience of growing it, I just fell in love with it so much that I've actually since added in other Aeonium to my collection because I think they're so much fun. And it's because succulents don't usually grow fast, but Aeonium grows so fast. And then we've got my Philodendron gloriosum, which I really thought was gonna have to be thrown out. And I've got this leaf, but this leaf looks like it's got edema already, so we'll have to see what happens. It's not been going too great with the Philodendron gloriosum after it just like dried out too much. I haven't seen what the roots look like since, but it carried on putting out a leaf for me, so I was like, we'll leave you for now, we'll see what you do. Also, and I know my poles are looking very dry, my spray bottle just broke, so I need to get a new spray bottle like pronto. This is what my medium silver is looking like, and she's still looking really beautiful. She dealt really well with my neglect. I mean, this is the one crispy leaf. We got this new leaf, which while it's not massively sized up, I'm so glad that she's still putting out new leaves for me. They do tend to do this thing where they throw out loads of runners if they don't attach onto stuff before they put out leaves. So I'm going to end up wrapping this round and round and round here until it puts out leaves. This is usually in the coolest pot ever, but I'll have to show you here on the screen because I can't lift it. That pot itself, for some reason, is incredibly heavy, so I can't lift it. This is my monkey tail cactus, one of my absolute... You know what? That was insulting. I almost said you were one of my favourite cacti, but you are my favourite cactus. You are. You just are. Because how could it not be? It's trailing. It blooms. The most amazing blooms ever. It's just so cool and different. And it has grown so much. It's very fast growing for a cactus. I also like I wouldn't recommend this to people for health and safety reasons, but you can stroke it without getting spiked. If you're a bit of a weirdo that likes to stroke cacti, I'm that kind of weirdo. This second little branch that it got off this bit, this one's getting really long now. I'm just really excited. I had a dream a while ago that it put out new pups from the base. It's not happened yet. I hope this dream comes true one day. Will it be this year? hopefully, if you are seeing this plant and you're like, that is so cool, I want one of those. I have like multiple videos on this channel about my monkey tail cactus. I will link them down below. I've got one on like how to propagate and one on the care of the plant, and a lot of other plants have leaves on the way and stuff. It's feeling positive. When I had surgery, I started out with like 146 plants, and I think there was like a 10, what just fell? And I think there was about a 10% rate of loss over that time that I was recovering, which I don't think is bad at all. To say that I was like completely bedbound, I don't think that's bad at all. And I'm just so glad and so grateful that all of the rest like held on for me. And the ones that didn't make it tended to be ones that were downstairs or that were in the bathroom, because it was ones that I couldn't see. But the one that I'm upset about, like really, like I had a bit of a cry, and I thought I was beyond having a bit of a cry when I lost a plant now, because I just know like it's part of life. You lose plants sometimes. It was the Mount Everest succulent, and I think it's also known as Senecio phycoides. And I got that plant on my birthday like 4 years ago, and it had grown so much. They're called Mount Everest because they grow so much in height, like, and it had grown so majestically, and I loved the blue silvery colour of it. But unfortunately, it just got super dried out and the whole thing was messed up. And even by the time that I got to it to water it, it didn't matter anymore because there was no going back for the entire thing. I tried to propagate it. There wasn't even any propagatable sections. So I just had to resign myself to the fact that I would one day replace this succulent. And this one was almost a disaster. This is Philodendron Prince of Orange, which is not a good specimen of a Prince of Orange and doesn't look particularly orange whatsoever. But as you can see, this needs repotting really badly. It's then been super thirsty, and I've got half of it. It's like crisped up, but it's still alive. It's still going. So we'll keep going with you. I think we can make you make a comeback, to be honest. Anyway, those are the best and worst plant updates. What plants are growing well for you at the moment? What plants are you struggling with? I would love to know. Please leave it in the comments down below. I post videos about houseplants and books, so if that interests you, please do hit that button, subscribe to be notified when I next make a video. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and I hope you're having a great day thinking about plants.